So now let's talk through transformations. We're going to write a function that has been vertically stretched, translated 3 units to the left from f of x, which is 3x plus 5. So we'll start with f of x is 3x plus 5. And we know that we need to vertically stretch it by 7. So the next step here would be to say 7 times 3 times x plus 7 times 5. So we're going to get 21x plus 35. And then we are going to translate it 3 units to the left. So right and left means I need to actually go inside of the grouping here. So we're going to do 21 times x to the left, so x plus 3, and then plus 35. Alright, so I can distribute here to simplify. 21 times x is 21x. 21 times 3 is 63, and then plus 35. So my final function is going to be g of x here. So g of x equals, and then we have our 21x plus 63 plus 35, so that's 98. So 21x plus 98. There we go. Now we need to write a function that has been horizontally stretched by 3, followed by a translation of 1 unit to the right, and then 6 units up. So I'm going to use this pattern, f of x equals square root of x minus 2, and then I'm going to actually stretch it horizontally by, I'm going to multiply it by 1/3. So you need to use the reciprocal when we're using horizontal stretches. So g of x is 1/3 times x, like that, and then minus 2 off to the side. So this is from f of x. So now we've horizontally stretched it. Then we're going to follow it by a translation of 1 unit to the right. So the next step is going to be square root of 1/3 times x. 1 unit to the right will be x minus 1. And then they want us to go 6 units up. So I'm going to add 6 units over here. And now I'm ready to simplify. So 1/3 times x is 1/3 x, and 1/3 times negative 1 is negative 1/3. So we have the square root of 1/3 x minus 1/3, and then negative 2 plus 6 is just 4. So plus 4 comes over here at the very end. So g of x equals the square root of 1/3 x minus 1/3, and then plus 4 on the very end. This is its own thing outside of the radical. Good. Let's go on to the back side and finish up our transformations. The first thing they ask us is it's been reflected over the x-axis. So g of x will be opposite of all of these signs. If it's been reflected over the x-axis, it means that all of my outside signs will change. So negative 4x squared minus 3x plus 1. And then they want us to translation of 5 units down. So 5 units down will be out here. The whole thing together, g of x, when we simplify it, is negative 4x squared minus 3x, and then minus 4 to give us our final answer. And then number 4, they want us to reflect in the y-axis for number 4. So the difference here, we made our negative signs because we were reflecting over the x-axis. We made them on the outside. All of the outside signs changed. And here, we're going to stick negative signs inside of the x groupings. Okay, and that'll reflect us over the y-axis. G of x is negative x, again here's that negative sign inside of the x grouping, negative x cubed minus 2 times negative x squared plus 6 times negative x and then minus 1. So you can see I just made an x grouping and stuck a negative sign inside. Okay, so negative x cubed is negative x times negative x times negative x. A negative times a negative is a positive, and then a positive times a negative will give me another negative. So this is negative x cubed. Let's expand this out. Negative x times negative x is positive x squared. And then negative 2 times positive x squared is negative 2x squared. 6 times negative x is negative 6x. And then I'll bring down my negative 1. That's my final answer here.